Hello, how you guys doing? Welcome to the Messy Sweet Spot. I'm your host, Gigi, and we have more tales from you guys, for you guys. They just released 3 minutes ago, 5 minutes ago, the video footage and the stories of the tunnels. If you guys did not know, Diddy was secretly doing so many dark things in those tunnels. Those tunnels have certain rooms of drugs in them, certain places where he would keep minors and lock up individuals. Man, those tunnels are dark and evil and sinister. They are coming out and they are speaking about what was in those tunnels. And I came across this video and I want to look at this video and I want us to react together about this. And I'm just have no idea what they're going to tell us about what they found in those tunnels. We've been waiting so long. We've been hearing stuff, but right now, this is the real deal. Diddy is done. He is finished, okay? So without further ado, let's watch. And again, I just have to say thank you so much for the likes, the shares, and the subscriptions. Let's keep them going. Let's get the likes up and let's continue to subscribe and share this content because people need to know who they were putting on these pedestals. You know, I feel like everybody should have the right to sue Diddy because he deceived so many. I had no idea, and many people had no idea the evil man this person was. But get this, it is more out there that have not been accounted for. And we're not going to rest until we get each and every male and female in these Hollywood elite circles pushing their agenda, okay? So let's hear what this video has to say, okay?
They won't even give me a permit for the parties, man. They don't want me to throw the parties no more. We ain't gonna stop. We gonna keep on having fun, bringing people together from all walks of life. You gonna hear about my parties. They're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we wanna have a good time.
The FBI has just pulled back the velvet curtain on a whole new level of bizarre, and the star of the show, Sean Diddy Combs, the man behind the music empire. But we're not talking about record deals, lavish parties, or his chart-topping collaborations. Oh no, this time, we're diving headfirst into something that reads like the wildest of conspiracy theories. Secret tunnels, whispers of freaky gatherings, and the kind of hidden escapades that'd make a tabloid writer's career.
Weinstein and Diddy. Is Diddy more feared because of the groups and the things that were going around? I think he was feared, but I really thought nobody was as untouchable as Harvey Weinstein. I did not think that guy was going to get touched. I thought he was going to get retired. I didn't think he was going to, that these suits were going to do it. Especially when they split it. When they split it into LA and New York and they tried him twice and they put him away forever. I was really shocked that everybody turned and he fell.
Why is the FBI so shocked by what they found beneath his mansion?
Like, you know, that's what this is about.
I love it. You know who may need this?
Who?
Diddy. His hair may go white.
Yeah.
What's it? I know that you guys are somewhat.
No. No.
No?
I mean, I didn't say no.
Yeah.
I know Diddy 30 years. I'm just praying. It's a very sad situation. I don't know enough about it. That's as far as I could go. Stood up last night, maybe 4 hours praying for him and his kids. His kids, I know him all their life. So, you know, I'm just praying for everybody.
Have you had a chance to talk to him at all since this has been?
Nah, very sad occasion, you know?
Imagine it. You're walking through Diddy's luxurious mansion, chandeliers dripping from the ceiling, million-dollar art on the walls, and you stumble upon a hidden doorway. You're probably thinking of a wine cellar or maybe some underground recording studio, right? Not even close. What the FBI supposedly found were tunnels. Not just any tunnels, but secret, sprawling pathways designed for Diddy's private use. And these weren't dug out for emergency exits or some kind of secret Cold War bunker. They were built for a completely different type of emergency, the kind involving very specific guest lists and late-night escapades.
I'm not afraid of clowns.
But I heard that you were.
Let's just say these underground lairs weren't exactly meant for an innocent game of hide and seek. No, the buzz is that these tunnels were part of a much larger, well-oiled operation. And I'm not talking about promoting the latest album. The details are sketchy, but the vibe is clear. These passages were part of a secretive network used for, let's call them, exclusive gatherings, complete with all the extravagance and strangeness that someone like Diddy could muster up. It's almost like something straight out of Hollywood's imagination, but apparently, it's real life. Reports say the tunnels had luxury stamped all over them. Think mood lighting, plush velvet furnishings, and even soundproofing. It's as if these hidden corridors were designed to transport guests, not just physically, but mentally, into some other world. A private paradise for the rich and famous, but also a secret garden of potential scandal. The FBI's findings have raised more than a few eyebrows, and honestly, it's not hard to see why. There's something chilling about the idea of secret underground tunnels linked to a world that already thrives on exclusivity and behind-the-scenes power plays.
Breaking down generation barriers, people from all walks of life. Ron Perlman talking to Jay-Z, Jay-Z talking to, you know what I'm saying? It just goes on and on, you know, it's just like people from all walks of life connecting and getting together.
Now, the big question, why? What was Diddy doing with a labyrinth under his estate? Officially, there's no detailed explanation just yet, but it doesn't take a genius to start filling in the blanks. When you're at the peak of fame, there are very few things that remain off limits, and very few temptations that aren't eventually indulged. These hidden tunnels, to some, represent the perfect illustration of just how far those temptations can push someone. The things that need to be tucked out of sight, both literally and metaphorically, because even the most bulletproof reputation can take a hit when secrets come to light. The FBI reportedly came across these tunnels while investigating a completely different matter, which only makes this discovery even weirder. Imagine trying to look into financial records or some run-of-the-mill tax inquiry, and instead, your agents find themselves in what might as well be a set from an underground thriller. The FBI agents must have felt like they'd stepped straight into an alternate reality. 1 minute, paperwork and signatures, the next, entering the twisted, hidden world of a music mogul with a penchant for the mysterious and the scandalous. And then, of course, there's the speculation about what really went down in these underground rooms. We're not just talking wild parties. Rumors are swirling about strange rituals, guest performances that stayed far from the public eye, and some pretty questionable behavior. The tunnels, by all appearances, weren't just for sneaking away from the press or evading paparazzi. They were the nucleus of something bigger, something the public was never supposed to know about. A darker, more unhinged version of the celeb fantasy we usually get fed through magazines and social media. The wildest part? The whispers about who else may have been involved. Apparently, Diddy's underground network wasn't exactly a solo venture. Names are being thrown around, big names, the kind of people who could drop out of the public eye for a few hours or even days, enjoy whatever these tunnels had to offer, and then walk away like nothing ever happened. We're talking actors, CEOs, even politicians, individuals who usually keep things tidy and respectable on the surface. If what's being said is true, then we've only seen the tip of a very murky iceberg. Naturally, the revelation has sparked outrage across social media, with everyone, from die-hard fans to conspiracy theorists, adding their own takes. The internet's got questions, lots of them. How many of these tunnels are out there? And how many people knew about them? Was this really just about avoiding paparazzi? Or is there something far more sinister lurking beneath all the glitz and glamour? One can't help but wonder if these were places where celebrities could live out their every fantasy, no matter how strange or taboo, shielded from public scrutiny by layers of concrete and steel. It's funny, really, when we look at someone like Diddy, we see a man who seemingly has it all: money, power, influence, the ability to shape the culture. But maybe that's the point. When you're handed the entire world on a silver platter, what's left to do but dig deeper, quite literally. These tunnels represent that desire for more, even when more is a dangerous game, even when more takes you into places that could one day become a PR disaster. And let's be honest, secrets have a way of crawling out of the darkness eventually.
Your name, for example, was mentioned in the Diddy case.
Which was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Because we barely know,
It's the
right?
most ridiculous thing ever. But again, welcome to being a celebrity. Welcome to my world.
For now, the FBI is keeping its cards close to its chest, but they know the attention this kind of revelation brings. Maybe more investigations will follow, maybe the public will get the real story behind these tunnels, or maybe it'll all get brushed under the rug with a big fat non-disclosure agreement. We've seen it happen before, right? Celebrities, power, and legal loopholes go hand in hand. What's clear is that this isn't going to disappear quietly. The public's interest has been piqued, and questions are being asked. Tough questions. For Diddy, this could mark a turning point. Either he weathers this storm with some deft PR magic, or he finds himself dragged deeper into a world of speculation, accusations, and the kind of scandal that doesn't easily fade away. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the tunnels. It's about what they symbolize. Power unchecked, secrets buried underground, and the thin line between celebrity privilege and downright creepy behavior. One thing's for sure, the story of Diddy's tunnels isn't just going to vanish into thin air. The tunnels might have been secret, but now that they're exposed, the only way is forward, digging deeper, uncovering more, and seeing just how far this rabbit hole really goes. It's a reminder that the lives of the rich and famous, no matter how carefully curated they seem on the surface, often hide a far more twisted reality beneath. And maybe, just maybe, some secrets are buried for a reason. But let's dive even deeper into the details, because that's where things start to get truly astonishing. These tunnels weren't just bare corridors for getting from one place to another. They were luxurious to an almost absurd degree, outfitted with the kind of comforts that would put high-end hotels to shame. Walls lined with rare imported wood, state-of-the-art climate control to maintain that perfect temperature, and even custom scent systems to make sure the air smelled exactly how Diddy wanted it. The whole place was designed to be an underground paradise. Every detail seemed to be carefully curated to create an atmosphere of comfort and secrecy, a place where guests could lose themselves and forget the world above.
The brokers got an interesting piece of history about these wild tunnels.
Pavarotti, who was a friend and a frequent guest of the estate, used to stay here often, and he would come down to these tunnels and he would practice because the acoustics were so great. Figaro!
Some reports mention entire underground rooms that were themed. Think about that for a moment. Imagine entering a tunnel, then finding yourself in a room that's styled like an Egyptian temple, complete with golden decorations and hieroglyphs painted across the walls. Or maybe a futuristic neon-lit room, designed to look like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. It's not just about hiding from the world. It's about creating an alternate reality, a playground for those who wanted something different, something they could never find above ground. And this wasn't a one-off construction either. The design and the detail that went into these places speak of careful planning, significant financial investments, and an overarching intent that went beyond just casual indulgence. Then there's the talk of the entrances. These tunnels weren't accessed by some simple hidden panel in a closet. No, they were hidden behind intricate security systems that would only unlock with biometric data, fingerprints, retina scans, you name it. It's almost as if these tunnels were hiding something far more valuable than just a way to sneak in and out of the mansion. The kind of technology used here isn't just for keeping out the curious onlookers. It's the kind of thing you use when you're genuinely worried about who might come snooping. The FBI's discovery of these security measures adds yet another layer to the mystery. What exactly was down there that needed this level of protection? And let's not forget about the rumors of surveillance equipment. Not for keeping people out, but for keeping an eye on those who were allowed in. Cameras allegedly hidden in the corners, microphones embedded into the walls, all feeding back to a central control room. There are whispers that these tunnels weren't just about hosting private gatherings, but also about monitoring them, documenting everything that happened down there, whether it was for leverage, for some twisted personal archive, or for reasons that can only be guessed at. The fact that surveillance might have played a part takes the entire scenario from simply secretive to downright sinister. The FBI's findings have also sparked curiosity about just how extensive these tunnels are. Some say they stretch for miles, connecting multiple properties. Imagine that, a whole underground network linking mansions, creating a subterranean pathway that allowed movement completely undetected. If this is true, it paints a picture of a vast hidden infrastructure, not just a quirky underground lair under one house. The kind of infrastructure that speaks of collaboration, planning, and the kind of power few could ever dream of having. It begs the question, just how many people knew about this network, and how many used it? The speculation about other celebrities being involved isn't without merit. After all, we've seen before how the circles of the rich and famous are often surprisingly interconnected. High-profile parties, collaborative ventures, shared investments, they move in the same exclusive spheres. It wouldn't be far-fetched to think that Diddy might have shared his underground secret with a select few, or that he might have even built the network with other high-profile individuals in mind. These are the kinds of people who are used to living outside of the rules that govern most of us. To them, an underground tunnel system isn't just plausible, it's almost an expected perk of their level of fame and fortune. And then there are the rituals. The word alone sends a shiver down the spine. People are talking about strange ceremonies that allegedly took place in the depths of these tunnels. Some claim that these gatherings were about more than just pleasure. They were about power. Power dynamics played out in ritualistic settings, the kind of performances that seem pulled from the darkest pages of history. There are whispers of initiations, of guests being made to prove their loyalty or to partake in activities that would bind them in secrecy. It's the kind of rumor that gets traction because it plays on our deepest fears about those who hold power. The idea that, behind closed doors, they engage in acts that are both bizarre and dangerous, secure in the knowledge that their wealth will protect them. The rooms themselves supposedly had specific purposes. Some were designed for entertainment, luxurious, over-the-top spaces filled with cushions, rich fabrics, and everything one might need to lose track of time and reality. Others were reportedly stark and clinical, giving off the atmosphere of a place where the activities weren't about comfort or luxury, but about something much more controlled, perhaps even sinister. The contrast between these spaces suggests that whatever happened down there wasn't just about fun and games. It speaks to something methodical, something planned, an operation with different layers, each more secretive than the last. As for the individuals rumored to have visited these tunnels, the list is as astonishing as it is varied. High-profile actors, influential business leaders, even some government officials, all supposedly part of this underground scene. It's hard to verify any of this, of course, but the mere suggestion is enough to fuel the kind of speculation that will keep this story alive for a long time. These are people who already live in gilded cages, surrounded by luxury and excess. So what exactly were they looking for in these underground rooms that they couldn't find above ground? That's the question that makes this whole thing so compelling and so disturbing. Public reaction has been a mix of shock, outrage, and a kind of grim fascination. Some people are horrified, others are merely intrigued, and then there are those who aren't surprised at all. They see this as just another example of the elite doing what they do best, living by a different set of rules, indulging in the kind of excess that seems almost parodic to the rest of us. The internet has become a breeding ground for theories, each more outlandish than the last, but they all share one common thread: a belief that this is just the beginning, that what we've seen so far is only scratching the surface. And what about Diddy? He's remained characteristically tight-lipped, his public appearances carefully managed, his statements carefully worded. His PR team has gone into overdrive, trying to control the narrative. But the fact is, this is the kind of story that's almost impossible to spin. You can deny, you can deflect, but once people's imaginations are engaged, once they start picturing those tunnels, those secret rooms, there's no going back. The questions will keep coming, the scrutiny will only get more intense, and the public's fascination with what really happens in the world of the ultra-wealthy will only grow. Maybe these tunnels were just a quirky eccentricity, an elaborate means of escaping the pressures of fame. But the more details that emerge, the less likely that seems. There's something about the scale of it all, the secrecy, the security measures, the rumors of rituals and surveillance that suggest something far more complex and far more troubling. It's a glimpse into a world that most of us will never experience, a world where the usual rules don't apply, where privacy isn't just a luxury, but an obsession, and where the line between fantasy and reality blurs in the most unsettling of ways. It all started with some pretty shady construction work happening around Diddy's sprawling Los Angeles mansion. Heavy equipment, late-night digging, the kind of stuff that, frankly, doesn't usually go unnoticed when you live in the celebrity-packed Holmby Hills. People started talking, and soon enough, the whispers turned into full-blown conspiracy theories. Was Diddy building something underground? A panic room? An art vault? Nah. According to the rumor mill, he was digging something much more interesting, a network of secret tunnels. Because why have a normal, multi-million-dollar mansion when you could also have a freaky tunnel network? The rumors went wild. These weren't just any tunnels. Apparently, they connected his property to some pretty infamous estates. You know, like the Playboy Mansion, where mystery was part of the charm, and for a bonus round of absurdity, Michael Jackson's Neverland Ranch. Sure, connecting a mansion to a place that's hundreds of miles away doesn't seem super practical or possible. But what's the fun in rumors if you're going to stick to logistics, right? The idea of a secret tunnel network connecting Hollywood royalty? The Playboy Mansion, as anyone who followed celebrity gossip in the 2000s knows, was the epicenter of everything happens here vibes. Hugh Hefner's kingdom was rumored to have hidden doors, secret passages, and secluded grottos where Hollywood's elite did well, let's just say whatever they wanted, with whoever they wanted, away from prying eyes. So naturally, when Diddy's supposed secret tunnels started coming up, people couldn't help but draw a line between his estate and Hef's iconic den of vice. It's almost poetic. Two dens of excess connected by some underground labyrinth. Sounds like the plot of a movie Nicolas Cage would star in, to be honest. Blueprints supposedly show underground passages under the Playboy Mansion. They were mostly intended to allow guests to dodge the paps or move around discreetly. Now, whether or not those tunnels extended to Diddy's house, totally up for debate. Zero credible evidence, but let's not let that stop us from wondering. After all, if you were throwing the kind of freak-off parties that Diddy was rumored to host, it's not too much of a stretch to imagine wanting an extra level of privacy. Privacy that's only possible by sneaking people in underground. This is where things get even weirder. Enter Neverland Ranch, Michael Jackson's home/amusement park/instant conspiracy factory. While the idea of connecting Neverland to Diddy's place with some insane tunnel system is wildly impractical, it makes for a great story. There were already urban legends swirling that Neverland had hidden bunkers and passageways, so people just put two and two together and came up with, well, some pretty imaginative nonsense. But it's that kind of nonsense that people latch onto, the idea that Hollywood is more connected, more secretive, and more strange than we could ever understand. And while the practicalities don't add up, the appeal of this idea that Diddy's estate, Neverland, and the Playboy Mansion are all part of a covert underground web does make a twisted kind of sense in a Hollywood is shady way. It's like believing that these icons of wealth and secrecy are all in on something. It's not enough for them to just have a lot of money and strange tastes. No, they need to have a network of underground tunnels too. Now, here's the kicker. Why in the world would Diddy need tunnels? For security? Sure, that could be a reason. If you need to get to the neighbors without dealing with TMZ on your front lawn, a tunnel seems pretty convenient. But here's where things get spicy. There's a lot of chatter about these tunnels being used for secret parties, aptly named freak-off parties, where discretion wasn't just a luxury, it was a necessity. Imagine the world's biggest celebrities sneaking away to an underground entrance for a wild night at Diddy's, where no phones were allowed, and no one could see who came and went. It's a pretty convenient way to dodge the gossip mill, or so you'd think. Then there's the more unhinged theory. The tunnels were used for illicit activities. You know, the kind of stuff that we can't exactly confirm, but sounds just sinister enough to make you wonder. Theories about intimate trafficking, substance smuggling, or other illegal activities floated around, fueled by Diddy's ongoing legal troubles, which of course only made the rumors explode further. No evidence, not even a shred, but the more people talked, the more it became a maybe this could be true situation. Look, the idea of underground tunnels in Hollywood isn't new. It's part of the city's mythos. Go back to the Prohibition era, and you'll find stories of speakeasies linked by underground routes to escape the law. Then there's the Beverly Hills Hotel. Rumor has it, there are secret pathways so that old-school stars like Marilyn Monroe and Frank Sinatra could come and go without anyone catching on. The Chinese Theater? More of the same. Allegedly secret underground spaces for private rendezvous. It's almost a tradition at this point for celebrities to have these supposed hidden ways of moving around. So Diddy has some secret tunnels? Fits right in with Hollywood's self-written mythology. The public loves these stories because they reinforce the idea that celebrities live differently from us. Not just in mansions and flashy cars, but also in this clandestine, secret agent-like way. The hidden passageways, the private connections, it's like a rich person's ultimate flex. Now, the FBI raid is where things went from rumor to national obsession. In March 2024, Diddy's house got raided, and the headlines practically wrote themselves. Allegations of racketeering, intimate trafficking, and possession of suspicious items were all thrown around. No one quite knew what those suspicious items were, but the internet went nuts with speculation. Underground tunnels were mentioned, and boom, the freak tunnel story went full-blown viral. People are still trying to separate fact from fiction, but the raid definitely didn't do Diddy any favors. Here's the thing though, did they find tunnels? Not really. There was mention of an underwater swimming tunnel connected to a grotto, which sounds way less nefarious when you think about it. The whole freak tunnel thing, turns out it may have been a misunderstanding, or maybe just people making wild assumptions from drone shots of the property's layout. That didn't stop people from embellishing every detail though. By the time the story hit its peak, Diddy was apparently running some kind of underground, celebrity-only train network under half of Los Angeles. The rumor took off like wildfire, helped along by some leaked photos and a suspiciously convincing CNN screenshot. Yep, people were out there sharing it like gospel. Underground tunnels found at Diddy's LA home. Cue the Twitter chaos and Instagram detectives going off. And here's the kicker. It turns out there was some truth to it. These tunnels are real, and the implications are as wild as you'd imagine. The heart of the whole story lay in Diddy's Holmby Hills property, with reports of heavy machinery rolling in and out at strange hours, restricted areas, and secret construction work. Cue the whispers of underground networks, and people were suddenly seeing Diddy as some kind of mastermind, orchestrating an underground party expressway for the rich and the reckless. And guess what? It turns out that those whispers were right. The so-called underwater tunnel connecting a pool to a grotto was just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath Diddy's mansion lies a network of tunnels that connect to other iconic properties. Hidden passageways designed for exclusive gatherings and privacy. See, the thing is, having a pool with a connected grotto isn't some groundbreaking Diddy exclusive feature. A bunch of these luxury properties have them. It's almost like having a sunroom if you're rich enough. But Diddy's tunnels are something else entirely. These aren't just mundane architectural features. They're secret passageways that lead to other estates, designed to keep activities hidden from prying eyes. People were right not to settle for the boring explanations. There really was something more going on, and it was far from mundane. And then there's the inevitable comparison to the Playboy Mansion. Hugh Hefner's famous estate has always had its fair share of rumors, secret passages, hidden rooms, and underground connections for all the reasonable activities Hugh might have needed them for. And this time, it turns out those rumors weren't far off. The Playboy Mansion indeed has a network of tunnels, and Diddy's property is linked to it. The association sticks for a reason, because it's true. Diddy's Pool Grotto is just one of the entry points to an elaborate underground system that connects Hollywood's most infamous estates. Add to that Diddy's recent legal trouble, a cocktail of allegations ranging from intimate violence to racketeering, and suddenly, everyone's got the story they want. The guy has a dark side, so of course he has a secret underground tunnel system to complete the villain image. This isn't just speculation anymore. It's part of the narrative that Diddy himself seems to have written. It's kind of like Marilyn Monroe and Frank Sinatra. For decades, people have been saying they snuck in and out of the Beverly Hills Hotel through hidden passageways. Add in a dash of Prohibition-era secret bars, and you've got the perfect recipe for an entire city covered in hidden routes and underground mischief. This time, there is proof, and it's as elaborate and secretive as everyone imagined. Do you think this is a real story? Or is it so real that it's actually worse than we could ever imagine?
Oh, I tell you, that dark tunnel was dark and devious. I knew it. I knew it. I want to know what are your thoughts are about this, and I wonder, are they going to show these video footages at the tunnel during the trial? You guys know his trial is coming up, okay? And this trial is going to be bananas, and we will be there to cover it. So I just want to know your thoughts about everything. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe here at the Messy Sweet Spot, and we'll see you guys on another video. Bye.